know it.
With a tear in my eye.
The cream of the crop. Acknowledge me.
Good morning, everybody. It is episode 4. Rope Nation, Ryan Drosty, Jesse Velasquez, Justin Joint, here to talk all the latest in pro wrestling and to talk about a landmark show for this podcast, episode 400. Justin Joint, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty damn good. And, being that this is our 400th episode, I guess I should say that pretty busy night last night. Had me and my wife went out to dinner for our 9th anniversary, 7-course meal. It was pretty phenomenal. And so I told you guys probably wasn't going to be able to watch Saturday night's main event. But, this is the 400th episode. So I got up early and I was able to watch the main event of Saturday night. And that, of course, being Bandito versus Mascara Dorado.
Dude, I just watched that match. I had a couple of people recommend it to me this morning on text. I saw it in the group. I think John posted in the group too. So I just watched that within the last 30 minutes. Awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible. But it was also not the best thing about last night, which was an absolutely batshit crazy Game 7 of the World Series.
What a weekend.
Yeah.
Friday night, trick-or-treating with the kids. Having a few adult beverages out there in the frozen tundra. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was in the 30s, a little colder than I'd like, but
yeah,
and then Saturday night's main event, Collision, crazy World Series, one of the best World Series of all time. I mean, insane, absolutely insane. Jesse, how you doing?
Really well. I got a little guy behind me at a change positions. He didn't want me in his spot to record today. I actually kind of like this spot, to be honest with you. This little angle and everything, it's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen that angle before. So different backdrop for episode 400.
Yeah, we got to switch it up, I suppose. And I did not do my due diligence and count how many episodes I have been on. I started at 301 as a regular, which was pretty crazy. So 90 some episodes there plus a guest and probably been on for about 100. And I only caught 2 minutes of the 2-minute highlights of Bandito and Mascara Dorado from last night. And yeah, it's about what I expected. Easily probably the best thing I saw over the course of what would have been an hour and 53 minutes worth of wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun night. We got plenty to talk about. We're going to talk WWE. We're going to talk AEW. We've got some voicemails to play. We did have some listeners call in and leave some well wishes for episode 400, and I have compiled them. I will play them on the show probably about halfway through, around where the ad break usually comes in the podcast feed for people. That's when we will feature those. Almost 7 minutes of well wishes.
Wow.
So,
very nice.
Yeah,
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we'll just sit back and listen to those. Also, Justin and Jesse, if my video is cutting out or getting blurry, please let me know. Because through 400 episodes of this show, how I am in post-production.
What?
How antsy I get about this kind of thing. And when I played the intro video today, first time I can remember in forever on my end, it was all stuttery and bad. I'm like, oh, crap. Episode 400, I'm going to have technology problems here. So if I'm looking blurry or anything, please let me know so I can restart my internet and get back on the stream. But so far from these tabs, it's looking okay for me. But yes, there have been some instances in the 400 episodes of the show where something goes bad technology wise, and it bothers me for a long time. So
yeah, he threatened to crack the whip if I didn't mute myself for a handful of times because of the 4.5-year-old behind me that's fascinated with his number blocks and multiplication.
Yeah. All right. My video looks a little odd on my end. I don't really know what's going on here.
Looks all right here. You look beautiful.
I think I'm gonna just in case, I'm gonna sign off for a second and come back. So not the best way I wanted to do on episode 400, but I'm getting a little nervous right now. So you two, I need you guys to carry the conversation for a second because I'm nervous my internet's gonna die. I will be right back.
Jesse,
The third co-host behind me, Harris, is playing his wonderful audio, so all of you can hear it. I don't have all of the bells and whistles to be able to get you through what's
I am scared
taking
to
place
ask.
here.
I am scared to ask this question, but it is. I've been holding on to it for weeks now. Have you watched Coco?
YES.
You did. All right. You didn't
Yes.
give us the feedback. Did you
I'm
hate
gonna
it?
I'm gonna watch it again tonight. Actually, when he goes to sleep.
So, what? Tell us. What'd you
Fair.
think?
Yeah, a definite fan. The opening minutes, I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna love this already."
Locked in already.
Oh yeah, like I said, as soon as he goes to bed tonight, definitely rewatching it for sure. And I think the third time is when I'll introduce him to the movie. I think he'll be okay with it.
Think so.
Mhm.
There's nothing too bad, but skeletons and whatnot is always pretty. Oh, dude.
He loves skeletons.
Thursday night, big night in the joint household. The wife and I showed my oldest the Goonies for the first time ever.
Ooh,
And he freaking loved it to the point where he was the first one up Friday morning. I walk out to the living room and he is rewatching the Goonies. I couldn't have been more proud.
it's a definite classic movie.
Yeah, it had been so long since I'd seen it. I was kind of worried about was there anything I was forgetting that would be especially scary? I remembered all the skeletons in the boat at the end, but I'd forgotten about the dead body in the freezer that Chunk
Mhm.
keeps running into. But when the dead body shows up again in the back of the station wagon, my kid just lost it laughing. He thought that was the funniest thing ever. Chunk's reaction, he just couldn't get away from that dead body.
And Sloth didn't freak him out too much.
Nope, not at least once he realized that Sloth was going to be Chunk's friend. He was all in.
There we go. John Hope, the only time I've ever gone out on a Halloween night as a wrestler, I went as Sting. Crew top, everything, dark hair, a
Nice.
spider in the middle. So it was like 1989 Sting, I think.
The only time
Ironically, we're going to talk about it here in classics.
the only time I dressed up as a wrestler was I basically just did the face paint of Hawk, Legion of Doom, and I happen to have this like big red, black, and white jacket, winter jacket, so it worked out.
I would have traded you. I was an LOD mark through and through, and I'm assuming you were a Sting person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sting and Bret Hart.
I did. I'm back. I did Macho Man one time. That was pretty fun. That was once I had kids, and my kids were starting to like Macho, so I dressed up as him once. But I think that's it for me.
You got to get that impersonation down. I think was it Dan Soder? Is that the guy's name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Incredible. Macho Man Randy Savage.
So my Google Chrome just updated, so hopefully that'll fix the problems. Luckily, it wasn't coming through for you guys, but it was coming through on my end, and it was making me very antsy. Of course, episode 400 going through tech problems. My God. All right, we're ready to go, guys. Like this video. That'll help us out a lot as we, try to get this video ranking in the ever-changing YouTube algorithm, and obviously in the podcast feeds too. Subscribe to the channel, leave us that 5-star rating, Spotify, Apple. That helps out a lot. And if you want to support the show in the best way possible and make this show hit 500 episodes, then you need to become a patron. The link is in the broadcast description. We talked about it last week. Go back in the archives and listen if you missed the show. But some Patreon changes on the horizon, going to make it even more worthwhile to sign up. And also, I wanted to tell everybody that TRN merch is on sale for this entire week. 15% off everything in the store. I just started the sale about 30 minutes ago. I'm going to leave it up all week to celebrate episode 400. If you want to get some TRN merch, again, 15% off. The discount will auto apply when you get to your cart. It won't show the prices on the page until you get to your cart, and then the sale prices will show up. And you can get to the merch site by going to topropenation.com. And by the way, I wanted to show this off because I think I said last week I had ordered one of our new hats and it came in. Check this out.
Yeah, that's
high
sharp.
quality stitching.
That is sharp.
I had ordered a black and white one about a year ago and I didn't like the embroidery and how it came back. So I tried something new and this time it came out much better. You can get this for just over $20 with the auto applied discount in the store. I mean, that's not really going to be much profit for us. We just want to get the merch out there to people. So 50% off of that. I think it's $26 or $27 minus 15% off plus shipping. And yeah, I wore this around the other day and it is awesome. High quality. I am really, really pleased with how that turned out. The hat Justin has on, the multicolored TRN hat, that is also available in the store right now. I have one of those as well. So get that. And the coffee drinking Top Rope Nation Pro Wrestling Guy shirt and mug is also available. Not this one. This is a different mug, but that design also recently went up. So topropenation.com for that. All right. Saturday night's main event. We're going to start with this one, much to Justin Joint's dismay. I watched it live last night, and we'll just start with the biggest news. The main event. In the main event, CM Punk defeated Jey Uso to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the title they created out of thin air a few years ago, that version of the world title. But CM Punk now having a world title again, and the match itself against, yeah, Justin with the quotes, the match with Jey Uso, crowd was into mostly throughout. I would call it a pretty lackluster match. And I'm just trying to be straightforward with you guys. Again, I watched it live. I wanted to enjoy it. It was a pretty lackluster match. Jey Uso looked horrendous in this match. Maybe that's a little strong. There were sequences in the match where Jey Uso looked horrendous. You might have seen the clips out there. This neck breaker spot was awful. Just total botch. Punk almost looked like he got pissed for a second right afterwards. There was a spot near the finish. I don't know if it was planned or not. They may have saved it live. Where Punk hits the GTS, he does the spot where then he drops down to his knee. Jey rebounds off the ropes. Punk catches him down on his knees, goes to stand up to do it again. And he kind of like stumbled backwards. And then immediately Jey put a sleeper on him. And they went into this sequence where then Punk hits the Anaconda Vice, locks that in. And then eventually they go back to the GTS and Punk gets the win. So I don't know if that was planned. It seemed like it was legitimately a screw up. And there I'd have to give Jey props for putting on the sleeper to kind of save it, make it all look natural. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, Jesse, what you thought. I thought the match was like slow motion throughout. Everything was very slow. Jey was very slow in the match. I mean, obviously Punk's getting older. What did you think of it?
8 letters, 1 word. Entrance.
Yeah.
That's Jey Uso.
Yeah.
He's a mediocre worker. He shouldn't be in the spotlight. We've been telling you this for a couple years. I mean, glitz glamour. So honestly, Ryan, that transition was probably one of my favorite spots of the whole match, was when he slipped on that sleeper getting out of that GTS. I thought it looked good. Anaconda Vice, exact same thing. The worst part was the Punk spear after Uso hit the GTS. It was like half of a shoulder tackle. Looked really rough.
Yeah. Yeah, and to your point about the entrances, you had Jey come out, crowds going crazy for him. They had, by the way, I was going to also say, they had some celebrities there. They got to be comping these people and just bringing them, to the show. But you had, what's his name? Tony Hinchcliffe there. Stop trying to make this guy a thing. He was out there again. Pauly Shore. My God, Pauly Shore was there, which was kind of cool to see him. And who else did they? Oh, Post Malone. That was the point I was going to make. Post Malone, I think, is the only one of those. Maybe Pauly Shore. Hinchcliffe is clearly not a wrestling guy. He was gone. They brought him out and then he left. But Post Malone was there the whole time. I think he's legit a fan, and he was going nuts during the Jey Uso entrance too. Most of the other celebrities behind the announce crew had left by then. He stayed throughout the whole show. But then when you got into the match, the fans were all behind CM Punk and not Jey, despite going crazy for the entrance. And then afterward, Jey went on social media and said something, I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, you got what you wanted with a middle finger. They keep leaning into Jey possibly turning heel, which I don't know, man. I think that would be a terrible idea. Jesse, you?
And who would have thought that when he became a singles entity that his promo ability would leave with him? because he was
Yeah,
solid
good
in the
call.
bloodline. He was very good. I think he might arguably, him, Roman, Sammy, they kept that whole story going for a long time. So he literally has just become an entrance merchant. So with him being a heel, I mean, it could maybe be compelling to that audience if they want to see Jey and Roman with Jey as a heel and Roman as a face. But for us, I don't really see the whole point of it all. And I think this might have been my least favorite match of the night out of the four.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it takes away the only thing about his presentation that's good is the entrance. If he goes heel and you take that away from him, you're left with a guy who's much better in tags, who flounders in the ring as a single, whose talking hasn't been there of late, like you said. I don't know. I don't know how far he can roll with Jey Uso as a heel, but we'll see what he could do in that role. Zach in the chat says mediocre is generous on that one. Yeah, it was not great. I was not surprised. I said on the Bleacher Report preview I did for the show, I thought Punk would win, or they do like some kind of BS finish where nobody won and drag it out a little bit longer, like Division would get involved or something. I could have seen that happening too. In the end, this is probably the correct decision though, because Jay has the bloodline stuff going on, doesn't really need the title with that. So I was not surprised. And yes, CM Punk, Justin, your new world heavyweight champion.
Oh, I'm so happy for Punk finally climbing that mountain. And well, we got a whole bunch of former AEW guys as your champions in the entirety of WWE, which is very interesting. I saw exactly one clip from this match, and it was obviously people making fun of it. The swinging net breaker that
The one that I called out. Yeah.
yeah, that was embarrassing. Can't imagine thinking Jey Uso is underrated. Love you, Michael.
He's definitely not underrated, if anything. So no.
But to your point about the whole like turning heel thing, the entrance is so over, and we have a long history of knowing Jay is an awesome tag team wrestler. Just fold his gimmick with Jimmy and call it a day. Let them finish out their careers as a uber popular, throwing your hands in the air tag team.
Yeah. Both of them like coming down opposite sides of the arena doing that entrance be incredible. It look great on TV. Yeah, I'd much rather see that personally. But yeah, I agree. Probably one of the lower, it's probably the lowest rated match on the show for me if I was doing the star ratings. I usually do the star ratings for patrons, but usually only for the pay-per-views. I won't do them for this. I think I might maybe come in sub 3 stars on that match or right at 3. It was not great. Now, they opened with Cody and Drew McIntyre. They wrestled for the undisputed title. I don't think really any surprise there that Cody retained the title in the opening match. I just think that Cody's title reign is kind of on fumes to me. It's just not super interesting right now. I know, yes, I did rate him highly in my wrestling power rankings on our recent episode, and that's because he is the top babyface champion of the biggest wrestling promotion on earth and is still mega over with the fans. I just want to see him do something more creatively satisfying for me personally as a fan, which maybe is not the target audience. But Jesse, your thoughts on the opener?
I'll be honest. Parts of this I really liked. Parts of this I really hated. So it kind of balanced out directly in the middle for me as a match. I got to scroll up to my notes here. I took a lot of notes last night.
Yeah, there was a spot where McIntyre gave Rhodes like a shoulder tackle and sent Cody off the apron through the table. Looked kind of hokey. Cody definitely jumped for it. They took out the table, and then within like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes after the match, the table was back up and all set up again.
Drew antagonizing Cody to try to get him disqualified because that became a thing to change world champions. I liked that. I liked his sense of urgency towards the tail end with the power moves. I said Drew was doing some really good heel work. I like the spinning Cody cutter. I thought that was a nice little touch to one of his trademark moves. One of the things that I hated big time was when he got body checked into that table, he beat the count of 10. Aren't you supposed to sell that?
Yeah.
That's not good.
He jumped up and ran into the ring like out of nowhere. Yeah, it was, I guess the little piece of this that is appealing with Cody's character is like he's evolving into this guy who will do whatever it takes to win. And if there's a shortcut to be taken, he'll do it. So, Drew brings in the title at the end of the match. He gets prevented from using it. Cody ends up DDTing him onto the title. So he used that, to help him get the finish. So you're seeing him kind of take some shortcuts here and there. But yeah, I mean, I guess long term or in the immediate short term, I'm still kind of waiting on a Cody Orton feud. And I don't know where else they're going right now with him.
They could have pulled the trigger on that months ago. And to be honest, now, as much as I think all three of us really enjoy Drew McIntyre's work, we can't take him seriously as a world title contender anymore. With all these times he gets thrown to the wolves, he's just like that high mid. He's like the lowest on the main event totem pole and the highest of the high mid card. He's like very good. Just to put over somebody that they think is a little bit better. When in reality, Drew should be there. He's proven it, especially with his social media work, I think, this year.
To John's point, Drew is so much better than his booking. I agree. 100% agree. We've said on the show for years, we've always liked his work. But yeah, he's had so many chances now and come up short so many times that it's just, it feels above him at this point, unfortunately, to be world champion. Jay says, wanting Cody to do something more creatively satisfying is a succinct summary of Cody's entire career. I mean, for the most part.
I like that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, they opened with that. Probably one of the more predictable results going in addition to that opener, was Jade Cargill defeating Tiffany Stratton to win the WWE Women's Championship. This was, her first world championship in WWE here. And I figured it would happen because, again, Tiffany's title reign also kind of running on fumes, had it for a really long time for the most part. They kept the match short, 5.5 minutes. So they protected Jade. She looked pretty good out there. We've talked about Jade having some greenness in the ring, despite being in the industry for many years at this point, just not having worked a lot, only on TV, not having the house show circuit is something that is to her detriment because she's largely had to learn on television. And sometimes she doesn't look so great out there. Other times she holds her own. This match, she was pretty good. Tiffany hit a wild swanton bomb at one point during the match. This was probably the highlight of the match, I think. But in the end, 5.5 minutes, they put over Jade strongly. She hit several power bombs towards the finish, which I thought was necessary. I thought she needed to look dominant in winning here. Jesse, give me your take.
Yeah, I think this was the right decision for where they want to go with her, with the time that they put in, the investment, and turning her heel was also a thing as well. When Jade hit that first move, like the big power move, the crowd was so quiet. I was like, okay, are you invested in this match at all? And let's get this out of the way right now. Salt Lake City, 2024. They had 12,700 people. 2025 back-to-back nights. Friday night SmackDown was like 4,700. Last night, Saturday night's main event, 7,700. So we're looking at what? A third of the crowd for Friday, 2/3 of the crowd on Saturday from last year. It showed in that giant set, which I really liked the presentation. I think it visually it was very good. Justin, I think you would agree with me if you just get a chance to just check it out.
I mean, just the mat alone definitely piqued my interest. I thought getting rid of all the fucking advertisements on there, it looked fantastic with the logo on there.
Mm-hmm.
And the other big thing for me was there were no commercial breaks. So this hour and 51 for WWE actually flew by.
There were commercials live. So you watched it on demand. Maybe they removed them. Yeah, because live there was commercials. Because I was annoyed at how long there was between the matches live. They were still running, commercials live, unfortunately. But I agree. I liked they got rid of the ads on the turnbuckles, on the mat. There was much less of that. You still had the Prime stuff out there, and I think some ads on the ribbon boards and things here and there. But it didn't look as low rent as some of these shows where it's just UFC on steroids with ads all over the ring. I don't know if that, if this would have been on NBC proper because it was only on Peacock, if they would have had him or not. Although, I mean, the PLEs, they still have them too. So I don't know why that would make a difference. But yeah, it just looked visually better. Now, you know that they would have, if they could have, used the smaller set, with people sitting behind the entrance. But like, as you said, Jesse, they were kind of struggling to move tickets for this show. Yeah, way down. Now, I would give them like a little bit of a break on the Friday night one because it was Halloween, whatever, holiday, kids going out trick-or-treating, maybe not wanting to go to the wrestling show. But Saturday, it's Saturday night's main event. There's these title matches. It's a huge show. And to get thousands less than the last time they ran the market was a bit of a red flag for WWE, and certainly something we've been following here on the show with the ticket pricing and the impact that that is having on their returns to markets. I posted something, I think, in the Facebook group. I had it on my Twitter page of, if you compare them the last time they've been in a lot of the markets they've ran the last 2 months to where they are now, I mean, their ticket sales are down like 30%, something like that, in the same markets the second time around. A lot of those shows were during Mania season, so people are saying, "Oh, but it was WrestleMania season, the product's cooler in the fall." I don't buy that. I think that when a touring act comes to town, since this doesn't happen every month, you buy the tickets if you're into the product, no matter when it is. I don't think that that has a huge impact on ticket sales. And some of those, I mean, some of them were like February too. It's like Mania season, I guess. It's between Rumble and Mania, but there was still like 2 months to go until Mania. So I think that's a bit of a cop out when you're looking at the drop off in ticket sales. I think a lot of it has to do with the ever increasing ticket prices and then pricing out a lot of their fan base.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one because I think AEW's probably plateaued. I think they've been pretty consistent
Yeah.
2024 and 2025 since moving to the shorter, smaller arenas, which I made a note on Unplugged, by the way. I think they should try to start getting into those 3 to 5,000 seat venues now. I think they can start doing that. The product's a little bit better.
Agree. 100% agree. All right, real quickly, one more match from Saturday night's main event, and then we're going to go to the voicemails that our listeners sent in for episode 400. So, the IC title match with Dominic Mysterio defending against Rusev and Penta, two former AEW guys. Dominic, really one of the big highlights of WWE this year. Who'd have thought, really coming into his own as a performer, getting over with the fans. We go back to WrestleMania and we saw him really starting to get cheered by everybody. But man, this kid has improved in just a ton since getting thrown to the wolves on national television when he started getting in there with Ray. Pretty solid match, Jesse.
Yes, match of the night for me. And I actually said that it looked like Penta and Rusev had their working shoes on. They looked a
Yes.
little bit quicker than they usually do. So I'll give them kudos for that. One little nitpick on Dom.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to chops, forearms, and things, I don't know why he does this all the time, but he goes like this and covers up. Like, be a pro and leave it open like all the pros do. You gotta sell the punishment a little bit better. So that's just one little tiny nitpick that I would go for with Dominic Mysterio. But yeah, this really flowed well. Here's the problem: Penta now. This is his 5th failed attempt to get the Intercontinental Championship in the last 6.5 months. This started at WrestleMania, so yeah, almost 6.5 months. Now for Rusev, this is the 3rd time. Like, don't you have other people that could step up into this slot and wrestle Dom Mysterio in this scenario?
Mm-hmm.
And now they're repeating the same thing with the women's side of things. With, of all people, you got Becky and Maxine Dupree. They've wrestled back-to-back weeks, and it might happen again here in the next couple. I don't get this booking. This is like Vince McMahon 2019 all over again.
Yeah, man. It's part of it too. I know it's not a hard brand split, and you see people that float between the brands no matter what they say when they need them to. But some of this is just the brand split just never works. We have ranted on this on the show for 9.5 years. Not a fan of the brand split. It really has not served to elevate people like you would want. Maybe a handful of people here and there, but I personally would just rather have the loaded up shows with more depth rather than getting the same feuds over and over. And the same thing at the top of the card with the world championship. The 2 world champions is confusing to fans. It, in my opinion, waters down the world title scene. No offense,
And some,
punker.
yeah, and something that's really been coming up in the last few days, but something that we've probably been talking about as a conglomerate for a decade, is that when they unveiled that WrestleMania 42 poster, there was nobody under the age of 40 on it. Number one. You had the male stars on there, no females, and your females are younger than your guys. Like, why wouldn't there be a little bit of diversity in your poster?
Yeah. And especially on the Raw side, I think more interesting than anything happening in the men's division over the last few months. And also, Jesse, who was leading the charge on that commercial?
You guessed it,
Of
Hunter
course.
Hearst Helmsley.
Of course. He's the centerpiece of the fucking commercial. I mean, this guy, what a glory hound. Unreal. They debut this big commercial they hype up, and it's Paul Levesque out there front and center. Step away.
I think you need to embrace that, Ryan. Like, change the logo to just like your face. Top Ryan Nation.
It just fades in at the show open. It's just my face really big, and it just like opens up, and here we are. I'm gonna put like in a huge text over the end of the show. Producer Ryan Drosty, just huge.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you have to do that. That has to happen.
I might do it next week as a joke.
You have to do that now. Yes,
Oh
Top
my
Ryan
God.
Nation. That is the best. Now, I think they try to copy. Dana White doesn't do this for when he's promoting his UFC cards. You don't see him front and center. Vince has been on a couple of the WrestleMania posters when he's actually been involved in a match, but it's always been off to the side. It's always featured a Stone Cold Steve Austin or a Rock, but nope. Hunter needs all the glory that he can get these days.
It was just one of those things where when I saw the commercial debut, I'm like rolling my eyes. I mean, come on. This is like beyond parody at this point. Every time it's all about him. All about Hunter. Sad state of affairs. But yeah, anyways, Dominic won. Frog splash onto Rusev. Yeah, probably my favorite match of the night. Good stuff. Dominic's been a highlight in I think a company that's kind of down on its luck creatively right now. Just not super interesting to me, but we're still going to cover it. I just think that they're in the doldrums right now, and that falls on one man's plate to get it right, Paul Levesque.
They kind of have a golden opportunity here, December 13th, to actually do something correctly and get a young person in a slot to face John Cena, because that is also some big news that came out of Saturday night's main event.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about
Introduce that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, also, though, I got to say, so they're doing a 16-man tournament to determine Cena's final opponent at that DC Saturday night's main event in December.
Oh, boy, that's fucking weak sauce booking.
Yeah, I agree. That is lazy as hell. How many times have you heard that AEW does too many tournaments? And, going into John Cena's final match, I'd like to see them build up some kind of feud where he's going out there for the last time and there's a grudge feud going, grudge match, a blood feud even. Like they build this up for months is what they should have done to get to the final match. Instead, it's a 16-man tournament and his last match is just whoever wins the tournament. That's a huge cop out, I think.
And to look at it positively is your hope would be, okay, well, they use the tournament not only to build up this next superstar, but also whoever wins this tournament should beat John Cena and get the absolute rub of rubs from doing that. But we've kind of seen them try this before. I mean, they should do it with Austin Theory again. See how that works out. I mean, I don't know who's out there who'd be a good candidate that could actually get over with this format.
There's only one. The former NXT World Heavyweight Champion. It's Obafemi.
Yeah.
Let's have him run through everybody, because he said Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and even somebody outside of the company, which means maybe they bring in like a TNA person. Whoop-de-doo there. But yeah, I'd say if you want to put some steps into it, nobody over the age of 35 is involved in this tournament. That's how I would do it. But we know what's going to happen. It'll be a veteran that ends up facing him, maybe even a Gunther. They've probably been rumoring that he comes back and he's the one that goes over Cena, which if you built that feud, which I think Gunther would do a good job, this would be good business.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be Gunther, almost certainly. So we shall see. Let me catch up on this chat here. John pointing out there was also no cards in that poker game. Zach saying a Top Rope Nation coffee mug with just my face. I wonder if we sell
I
even
like
one
it.
just as a gag. Dante, congratulations on the 400th show. Thank you, Dante. Yeah, I got to say, you guys, when we're going to go to these voicemails here. When I started this show back in the summer of 2016, I don't know if I ever would have thought we'd get to 400 episodes. And when you think about all the Patreon stuff we've done too, I mean, it's well over 500 episodes that we've done. But 400 here of the flagship is pretty incredible. So, I've got to thank everybody who's ever been associated with this show. Of course, Justin and Jesse here. My old tag team partner, Kyle Ross, of course, who stepped away a couple of years ago, but was an integral part of this show for 300 episodes almost. And Kyle's come back a couple of times for Patreon shows, and we got that in the works to bring him back again. But he had to step away due to some things going on in his real life. But whenever we can get Kyle involved, we will. And we've done some awesome stuff in the history of this show, whether it was traveling out to Las Vegas and doing a show live on the Vegas Strip after Double or Nothing 2022, meeting up in New Orleans for WrestleMania, going to All Out a couple of times with Jesse, hanging out with Jesse in person multiple times, since he's a lot closer to us than Kyle was. It's just a 3-hour drive away. We've been able to hang in person quite a few times. And I think that Jesse stepped into a role that was really hard to succeed in, because Kyle definitely set the bar really high. And people have been vocal about this over the last couple of years in our Facebook group and tweets and everything, that Jesse stepped in and succeeded in a area that would have been very hard for most people to do so. And I knew, Jesse, I'd met you through Blue Wire, and you were doing your show, and you had guested on here a couple of times, as you said. And when Kyle stepped away, Justin and I did it just us for a couple of months, but we wanted to add a third again. And you were just the most logical guy to come on, because every time you came on, you fit right in. You could do a show solo successfully, which is so hard to do, that I knew that if you added to the rotation to make it a trio again, you would definitely succeed. And so I want to thank you for stepping into those shoes 2 years ago and succeeding with flying colors, my friend.
I appreciate all the words. Thank you so much. Words of affirmation it's my second love language. So we hit that one right on the head. I'll be honest, I've become so comfortable with these solo shows now. Like it'd be really weird finding a co-host to do Unplugged with me. However, I did see something in all of our surveys. And for this project I'm working on next year, which I'll unveil in about a week and a half, I plan on having one person with me each and every week to go over what I'm going to cover. And again, we'll announce that here middle of the month, which I'm very excited for this project, something for the Patreon. But yes, I love you guys, so I'm extremely thankful, blessed, fortunate to form such a tremendous conglomeration. We'll use an AEW term here. And yeah, we fit together like peanut butter, jelly, and phenomenal bread.
Yes, indeed. I love that. And yeah, Justin, I mean, what more needs to be said? You stepped in January of 2017 here on the show,
That
and
sounds right.
Kyle stepped away during bowl game season, I believe. It was the first 6 months the show had been on the air. Justin was one of our most dedicated listeners, but Justin and I had been friends since like 2001, 2000, something like that. So we'd known each other a long time. And within probably 2 years of starting the podcast, Justin and I had kind of reconnected, because we kind of lost touch other than like Facebook for a few years. And we happened to run into each other with our now wives. They're both, well, Megan and I were married, but you guys were still dating, you and
Correct.
Caitlin.
Yep.
And we went to a Mexican restaurant in town, and there was hardly anyone there. And Justin and his wife Caitlin his future wife Caitlin walked in. It's like, holy crap, that's Justin. I haven't seen him in years. And then we reconnected, and we ended up going out and getting some beers and talking wrestling. And then I started the wrestling website, Top Rope Press, and you started writing for the website. And then 2 years later, I started the pod, and 6 months into it, there you were. And you have been an awesome awesome addition to the show as well. And it's been fun to see you grow as a podcaster. And I don't know what else to say other than it's been a blast.
Yeah, I think we've said it a million times on the podcast, but by far the best thing about it is all the relationships that it has made and strengthened. I count you two as dear friends, and that's all because of this thing that you started, Ryan. So, I mean, first and foremost, thank you for everything you've done, creating this community with, everybody on our Facebook page, everybody who watches the show, everybody who listens to the show. It's kept me into professional wrestling at times where I very, very likely would have gone dark again, like I did in the mid 90s for quite a while. And again, in the 2000s. So it keeps me coming back, being able to talk to you guys. I don't know how many times I have absolutely been dreading or not feeling like podcasting. And then the second, we go live, it's just like, oh, I'm back at home. This feels exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it lightens the mood when the mood is dark, and just always it's 100% going to make me feel better if I'm in a bad mood. So, thank you both for all of this. And thank you to everybody who follows along and chats with us.
As a listener first, ever since I've come aboard, Justin, your game has upped up like 8 notches since Kyle left. That's something I've truly noticed. You've been able to spread your butterfly wings and blossom in your role. So I have really enjoyed the maturation process of you here on Top Rope Nation through the audio and video piece. So give yourself a chance and listen to an episode with yourself on, just one. Pick one out.
Nope, I've done that before. Not going to happen. The only reason I'm possibly better is just because I curse more than I used to. Just makes me sound cooler. I'm going to start smoking on the pod to even be that much cooler.
Is there a podcaster out there that does that? Look what it did for the Sandman's career in 1995.
There we go.
While we're laughing, I have to put up this image that John Hope just sent out. I'll just put this up.
Yes.
Close the show with that on the screen.
That's fantastic.
It is the Top Rope Nation logo, kind of with my name over the top of it. For those who listen on the podcast feed, if I want to take the Hunter credit for this, that's good stuff. All right, should we go to the voicemails? I think about 10 of you. But 10 of you called in and left messages. I threw this out in the Facebook group and on the Patreon page. Appreciate all of you who did. I think some of the sentiments we had about building a community around the show, which has always been my favorite thing about it, and connecting with so many cool people over the years. I think you're going to hear those sentiments echoed by a few people on here. So here we go. This is the voicemail line for episode 400 of Top Rope Nation. Enjoy.
Top Rope Nation and 400 episodes. That is quite the achievement. This is your guy, Derek, down here in Memphis. I am so proud of you guys. I'm happy to call you guys friends. Congratulations on 400 episodes. And I don't know, let's go 400 more.
Congratulations. 400 episodes is incredible. And you guys are still the best wrestling podcast out there. Top Rope Nation. What's in the glass? We got drafts. We got weekly breakdowns. We have got it all. And you guys are the best. And I can't wait for 400 more episodes.
Hey, this is Stuart, aka Nail's number one wrestling fan, just saying congratulations on the 400th special episode, and can't wait to hear another 600 more. So thank you.
Episode 400!
Hey guys, just wanted to say congratulations on your milestone. I've actually been a listener for years more than I've been a Patreon. I think I started listening around the time AEW started, definitely before the pandemic. And just wanted to say you have been a constant source of almost weekly entertainment when I used to hike. And I've always enjoyed your commentary and viewpoints, even your American sports references, which I have absolutely no clue about, but it's always interesting to listen to. Just wanted to shout out the what's behind the Patreon wall, your classics. Great job with those 15-minute teasers that you used to do, because that got me to check it out. They are always hilarious and always worth the money. And the weekly unplugged episodes that Jesse does, they are a wonderful surprise whenever they drop. I always will enjoy listening to them at whatever time that I have. I just wanted to say I'm proud to be part of a larger Top Rope Nation family, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing how you guys expand further. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, it's Frank Pettiani. Just want to say congratulations on reaching the 400 episode milestone. Just a tremendous accomplishment in a real crowded space. But you guys did it. You do tremendous work week in and week out. Proud to be a listener, proud to be a part of it too. You know, obviously I've been on the show a number of times. You guys have worked with me over at the Torch, and you know, there's no question what you guys do is just tremendous. The knowledge that you guys bring and the way you deliver it is amazing. But the thing I'm proud about the most with you guys is that you created a little family. You know, I made a lot of friends through Top Rope Nation. You guys, I consider friends. You know, we text back and forth. You know, I couldn't have imagined doing that with another podcast, but you guys did it. And there really is something to that. You know, it's everything in life is all about relationships, right? And you guys have created this really great thing. Keep it going. Proud to be a part of it. And I look forward to what's to come.
Hey guys, it's Aaron from Minnesota. Ryan, Justin, Jesse, and Kyle, congratulations on reaching 400 episodes. It's a testament to the time, energy, and relentless effort you guys have poured into this show week after week. Not only have you created something that is truly a joy to listen to, but also cultivated a community of smart, level-headed individuals, which is almost more impressive than the 400 episodes. Shout out to each of your families for sacrificing just so us listeners can get our wrestling fix. Here's to another 400 episodes, and thanks for everything you guys do.
Congratulations from Justin's favorite dad.
Yo, this is Zach Venero, patron. Shout out to Jesse, Justin, Ryan, the whole crew. Happy 400. Cheers. Here's to another 400 more. Hope you got your favorite NA if you're doing that today, your favorite coffee, your favorite IPA, bubbly water, whatever it is. Soak it up. And yeah, let's get it. Another 400 more.
Hello, Top Rope Nation crew. This is Jay, longtime listener, first-time caller. I'm taking a break from the 17th cinematic commercial break of Saturday night's Yeet event to shout out to my favorite wrestling podcasts that acknowledges how hard it is to both be nostalgic for and enjoy a company that employs head poopers, disingenuous punks, and the prime drink guy. I'd like to thank my wrestling spirit animal Justin Joint for being confounded by whatever it is WWE pretends to be right now. Jesse for reminding me each week that twittering wrestling fans are the dirt worst, and Ryan for putting Cody Rhodes in his top 3 list of his best current wrestlers. Seriously, man, Cody? Were you a big fan of the Lex Express back in the day, too? But seriously, thanks for creating a show that can enjoyably watch, review, rip on, and celebrate wrestling while staying focused on what truly matters: beer, whiskey, and the fact that the wrestlers are who we root for. Except for Cody. Fuck that guy. Not the billionaires who don't pay them enough. Dino Bravo forever. Bye.
Hi, Carl here from across the pond in good old Britain. Huge congratulations to you guys for hitting episode 400. It's an incredible achievement, and it's a reflection of the hard work that everyone involved in Top Rope Nation have put in over the years. You know, that's everyone involved in the show now and who's been involved in the show in the past. At this milestone, I can't think of any higher praise to give the show than to say that while I'm watching a AEW show, I'm watching a WWE show that you guys can review. One of my first thoughts after finishing the show is really interested to see what the Top Rope Nation guys think about that show. I'll think about a match or a spot. that's how highly I place your opinions and respect I have for the opinions that are given around the virtual table, so to speak. So hope you guys continue for a lot longer, because it's a really valuable source of wrestling chat for everyone who listens.
All right. There it is, episode 400, the voicemails. Appreciate all of you guys who tuned in. Even Jay for throwing a little shade at my rankings. That was pretty funny.
That was hilarious.
That was good stuff. Yeah, awesome to hear from you. Again, like, you can do a podcast and have a fun time talking to the boys, but unless you have people in the chat room or you have people calling in like that or in the Facebook group, it's like you're talking into a void. For the first couple of years we did the show, we get emails here and there, people on social media, but we didn't have that Facebook group, which was so key to growing the community around this show. And you heard people kind of echo that sentiment as well. And now when I do the show, I feel like I'm talking not to just these two friends, but like everybody out there, a huge cohort of friends. And that's what has made this so much fun. And I hope down the line we can do another meetup in person. We did that at Double or Nothing back in 2022, and it was really fun to meet up with a bunch of the listeners before and after the show. And that is something that I have really wanted to do again. So I hope there's a point where we can all kind of meet up at a wrestling show again in the future.
How the hell did my dad end up on there?
I was waiting to watch your reaction to that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome when I saw that come in, that Justin's dad called in.
I had to text him right away.
That was awesome. Good stuff.
Saturday night's main event grade, B-. Top Rope Nation listener group, A+ audio.
Plus.
I had the
7
sunglasses
stars.
on in case I was going to tear up, which I did not.
I noticed that. I saw you put those on. Like, oh, what's he doing there? But yeah, thank you again to everyone who took the time to call in, made it all worthwhile. So, all right, let's end today. We can talk a little bit about the setup for Blood and Guts AEW, and any other thoughts we have on the AEW side. We talked about that Collision main event at the top of the show, but we've got Blood and Guts coming up in Greensboro, North Carolina on November 12th. So about a week and a half away. We have finalized the 2 Blood and Guts matches. I want to put that up on the screen here so we can talk about it that way. Hopefully this will work. Give me a second here. But yeah, I mean, I thought Dynamite overall did a pretty good job in setting this up. Justin, what's your excitement level for Blood and Guts in a week and a half?
I mean, it all depends on how they're going to execute it. My hope is that because they're doing a men's and women's, we get an actual, for the first time since WCW, an actual War Games, not these weird 40+ minute events where the entire first half of the matches don't matter at all. So it means that there's 2 of them. I'm really hoping there's just no reason for these matches to go over 25 minutes. So if they can actually execute it that way, I will be happy. But I'm still concerned that they will just be overbooked nonsense. Storyline wise, boy, that's a lot of ladies. I mean, that's almost the entire women's division in this match. I kind of wish they would have just kept it to 4 to keep it a little bit tighter in coherent story. But it's kind of wait and see. We got a little bit longer for them to add some heat to it. But yeesh, that is a lot of red string to kind of put together what is going on in that match. The men's is kind of, the Death Riders thing has been going for a long time. Obviously, Darby and Orange have a lot of reasons to want this kind of match. So that's an easier story to tell. I'm not too worried. Everybody in that match knows what they're doing. So for me, it's a wait and see. Let's see what kind of War Games we actually get.
Yeah, how about you, Jesse?
I'm a little bit disappointed that the women didn't have it solo. I was just like, this maybe could be the year that we don't need it. I suppose it makes sense in spite of the fact that like Darby and Moxley have mutilated each other for months now. I was like, are they going to move on at some point with this? Darby and Orange Cassidy. If you don't want to put Darby into a world title picture or a title picture after this, I think you might have just found a tag team especially after what I just watched on Wednesday night with those two. Great chemistry. I think they would work really well together. The women's blood and guts is marred by injury, unfortunately, with Penelope Ford being out for the foreseeable future, which stinks. Marina Shafir, I've been probably the only advocate to get her in the ring. I know that it's been a little while since she has been. She's been doing a lot of work in GCW. Moxley's been mentoring her. So I think the maturation process is going to be, we're going to see it up close and personal. I think the women are going to get after it because a lot of them have a lot of extreme experience in Anna Jay, Ty Conti. They got into that crazy match. Willow was involved as well. So Penelope's like a well-known deathmatch wrestler, I think, on the indies. So that's why another reason it's going to be disappointing. I think they're going to show out. But last thing, I agree completely with Justin's sentiments. It's going to let it go 20 to 25 minutes, true war game structure from yesteryear, as opposed to two separate matches that take 40 minutes long.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we've talked about this on the show many times, and you can go in our classics archive on Patreon and listen to us review some of the old War Games matches. But the best War Games matches were all under 30 minutes, 20, 25 minutes, really. And, you get the bloated ones they were doing in NXT where they're 45, 50 minutes long. That is not the model. The model should be a 25-minute match. And, especially when you got two of them on the same show. I agree with what Jesse said. I was really hoping it would kind of just be a showcase for the women's rather than doing two of them. I guess the intrigue for me on the men's side, is if the Death Riders lose, are they going to disband and go in a different direction with some of those guys? Now, I do see some. I thought, Yuta and Garcia, they have some potential as a tag team long term. I could see that, kind of. If the group kind of changes or they take them in a different direction, that could be kind of a building block for the future. Moxley's going through this thing right now where he's having trouble getting wins and maybe doubting himself a little bit. So, there's some intrigue there, but overall, maybe the Death Riders go in a different direction. And hell, if you saw Collision, John Moxley never forgets the past. He was wearing a Blackpool Combat Club sweatshirt. So the Death Riders, they never die, even if they do go in a different direction. But it'll be really interesting, I think, in the aftermath of that one. But I agree. I'm more looking forward to the women to see what they can do in this match. And hopefully that they get the spotlight there and maybe even get the main event slot. We'll see. Any other thoughts? Wrap.
It is interesting to see what the outcome of this, the men's is, just because, to your point, is this going to be kind of a disintegration or a continuation, which, I've seen a lot of rumors of maybe could Pac step up and, maybe dethrone Moxley as the leader. But then also, I still feel like there's some meat on the bone with this. So, and especially considering, they've been losing with Yuta and Garcia losing to Darby and Orange, and Mox having frustrations with Kyle O'Reilly. All that kind of, to me, points to a Death Riders win here at Blood and Guts.
That'll be interesting. That's an interesting take. I know. I thought it was just going to go, I'm going to go with the faces in this instant. And yeah, I can see Moxley being the guy getting thrown out of his own group. I mean, I think I've been saying for a while, like Wheeler Yuta should probably be the one that gets kicked out, and maybe him and Daniel Garcia have a strife, but the story's a little bit bigger if you can throw Moxley out of the group, although he's been doing some really good heel work, so I guess it wouldn't make sense to do that either. So yeah, you could continue it that way. I guess you could go one side or the other.
Yeah.
You'd be okay.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to... Oh, I should have shared it that way. That's a little more visually appealing than the way I was doing. I was if you guys are watching, I was screwing around with the layout. Like, I don't know if I like this, but now I can't figure out how to get the video off the screen. Hold on, or the picture off the screen. Hold on a second here.
Trial and error. Now you know what to do next time.
Well, Restream has kind of changed the way that this works of late, and yeah, I don't actually know how to remove that picture. Oh wait, there we go. There we go. I had to remove it because I had something planned this closing sequence. But all right. Probably a little more heavy on AEW next week on the program, you guys. I've seen from the surveys coming in that people prefer AEW to WWE, but with Saturday night's main event, we definitely had to cover that. I thought on the show today, but I also want to hit those voicemails because I knew that was going to be my favorite part of today's show, and it was. So thank you everybody who dialed in for that. You guys have any closing comments before we wrap it up? Because we got NFL Sunday on the horizon here.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, just happy to have you guys in my life. Happy to have this podcast in my life, and all of our, to your point, that community that we've built. It rules.
Yes.
We still add a person or two every now and then that like kind of heightens it for a while. And I think we're going to continue to do that in the future. I'll try to keep this to 15 to 20 seconds. Shout out to the boss, Ryan Drosty, for all of the hard work he's done keeping this going for 9.5 years among every other hat that you wear. I think if you were to do that executive producer Ryan Drosty thing, you should put all the hats underneath it. And then just kind of visually, if you're a visual learner, you can see how much you do on a daily basis. I don't know how you sleep. So kudos for keeping this machine running the way that it does, and it has not changed over the last 9 and some change years.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. That means a lot. Yeah, I don't sleep well. I will tell you that. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I crash. And yes. Tim checking in. 400 episodes of the best damn pro wrestling podcast. Another comment from Jay here. That was, by the way, we didn't have the names on the voicemails, but that was John who did the high-pitched Top Rope Nation one. That was,
that was John. Great.
Yeah. So, man, yeah, 400 episodes in the books. It's been wild. And there's more to come.
You guys are the only ones I would stay up late for. I have turned into an absolute, like, before the sunrise type person now, because with my shoot job, I'm up early a couple of days a week. So sometimes when those classics hit at like 8:30, I'm like, oh man, I gotta suck it up the next day. But nope, There's nobody I would else I would rather do it with than the two of you.
Likewise, sir. And hey, if you guys want to support what we're doing, again, I said at the top, I just double checked. The sale is live, topropenation.com. Go to the merch page. Get yourself some merch this week. I'll leave that sale on, turned on all week long until next Sunday's show. 15% off everything on the show. So Justin, it's been a lot of fun this morning.
Fuck yeah.
I got produced by Ryan Drosty on the screen right now.
That's got to stay forever.
It was demanded and I had to make it real quick.
Yep, that has to stay.
Oh my God.
There's my Hunter moment. Produced by Ryan. Oh.
Sign off the Top Ryan Nation episode 400. See you soon.
Yes. Thank you for that, John. And we'll be back with you next Sunday. We have classics coming on Halloween Havoc 1989 for patrons as well. We have not scheduled it yet. It's coming in the next week to 2 weeks, so we'll get that booked, and that'll be coming for our patrons very soon as well. So look for that. Sign up for the Patreon. 200 bonus shows. Best way to support what we're doing. Appreciate all of that. All right, guys. This has been episode 400 of Top Rope Nation. We will talk to you all again real soon. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your week.
Peace.